Hey man, Grand Rising. I just pulled up to say Bud Crawford is a G, man. Bud Crawford's got to be one of the most gangster boxers to ever come into the sport. A lot of people hated on him, on his rise up because of the certain opponents that he wanted to fight, and because of this fanboy era. You know, a lot of people gravitated to the popular person, and speaking of that, people gravitating to the popular person. A lot of people was also gravitating to popular topics. And unfortunately, the algorithm was not making exposing the WBC and the bias stuff that they've been doing throughout the years. It's just like the algorithm wasn't really favoring that type of content. But it took a G like Bud Crawford to expose what a lot of us been exposing for the last 7, 8 years, you know, th- which is the WBC, and exposing on such a high platform to where now everybody got to talk about it. Now people got to really pay attention to it. Bud Crawford, man, as big as he is in this sport, coming off dethroning the undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez, Mauricio Sulaiman's favorite fighter, he checkmates pretty much the WBC, in my opinion, by exposing how they move. Yeah, Bud Crawford's talked about the mandatories, how they're not ordering certain mandatories, but that's just scratching the surface. I mean, you already know underground community, like we just been on the side having the discussions about how they've been letting these cheaters get cleared. We were talking about Sabril Matias just as of recent. There's a lot of different things that has been on the horizon associated with the WBC, and we're seeing a total meltdown of the WBC. It's just been a total unraveling, and we've just been seeing all of their wicked acts, you know, come to this particular boiling point where the whole world now can see, you know, thanks to Bud Crawford airing out all their dirty laundry. And he didn't, matter of fact, he didn't air out all their dirty laundry, but he just put out enough to where people was just like, damn, what is up with this WBC? It's crazy because certain channels, platforms that I'm subscribed to that don't normally talk about boxing, they're talking about boxing because of this situation. I'm like, damn, because a lot of people. This is the thing about Mauricio Suleiman, where he fucked up. He fucked up because he thought it was gonna be the same reaction or the same type of result where he'll try to strong arm a boxer, you know, try to put somebody in a place or disrespect them in the media or strip somebody, and then nothing really happens, not really a whole lot of backlash from it. But because Bud just beat Canelo Alvarez, Bud has elevated to another level now of notoriety to where more people know who he is. So the situation where he got pulled over, almost lost his life because of the trigger happy cop, over there. That's more exposure. People are like, hold up now. Whereas say, um, and that was before what I'm saying, the Canelo victory. But so it's like now the Canelo victory puts him in a status of like, if anything happens involving Bud Crawford, there's gonna be so many people talking about it. There's gonna be so much um media activity associated with Bud Crawford because he's not just you know, one of those people that you could just throw in the background like, whatever. That's just, that's just little old Terrence Crawford. He ain't little old Terrence Crawford no more, you know. So Mauricio think he can just get out and disrespect an our all-time great in Bud Crawford, and there's not going to be no backlash, you know. And as a result of Mauricio stripping Bud Crawford and trying to make a mockery of this guy as if like Bud owes him something, now you've got a spotlight on your whole organization and what you've been doing over the collection of these years, starting from when your daddy was in charge up to this point. And it took a G like Terrence Crawford not only to beat Mauricio Suleiman's favorite fighter, but I'm glad it happened because now we seeing this motherfucking Mauricio bitter. This man is absolutely bitter because things are not going the way he wants it to go. And we all now know for a fact that he would prefer his countrymen to be the one representing that WBC title. You know, just like how Bud Crawford talked about the bias, you know, it's just been a clear fact that there's been discrimination versus Benavidez when he was lined up to face Canelo.
Pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody.
And then like what Bud doing is exposing and going off on Mauricio Suleiman. It just make you think as a boxing fan. It just makes all the fans think like, well, why do they need to pay them? What just other than getting this belt put around them and for them to show off to their fans and walk around with it and take to these interviews and say I'm the this champion or WBC champ. You know, why do they need to keep paying you 3% every time they fight? And then with this money that they're paying you, what are you doing with this money to help give back to the athletes for them to benefit off of it? Knowing that this is the most brutal sport you know um in the world, with the money, these fees that all of these sanctioning bodies have collected, how has it benefited these athletes when they retire? How does it benefit the athletes when they lose their life in the boxing ring? Do the families get taken care of? Do you guys put money together to make sure the families are straight? These dudes risk their life to win this particular trophy, this WBC or whatever titles that they're trying to fight for. But then y'all can strip them 30 minutes later. They can work 5 or 6, 7 years straight working to become a world champ to get to that level. Prospect to contender, fighting top guy after top guy to become world champ. And then for a guy to just the president Mauricio Suleiman to just be like, all right, good job, but we're gonna take that back from you now. We're gonna take that. You know, thank you, but no, thank you. We'll take that back now. All the hard work, coming up all those weight classes Bud Crawford had to do to fight Canelo and beat him at his best, at the top of his game. The guy was undefeated at 168. Bud Crawford goes in there one fight at 168 and whoops his ass. And Mauricio is not having it. You know, the man is so biased. The man is so bitter and upset. He can't even control himself at this point. You know, he probably don't realize how bad he looked doing this and how much he's even exposing himself by doing this. Crazy.
You're speculating. So listen, Mauricio, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Because everybody in the world know you was going for Canelo. You was mad that I beat Canelo. It's okay. It happens, you know? But if you a real fan of the sport, you would have, you know, said congratulations instead of having that little smirk on your face, all mad and pouting. But listen though, you should have took the money and you should have been thankful and grateful that I was rocking your belt around as your champion. As your champion.
This is so crazy, man. Mauricio is so biased that the mere fact Bud Crawford said that, like, I was rocking around your belt as your champion. He Mauricio don't even want Bud Crawford. Like he's so racist and biased to the point where it's just like, look, I don't want you representing my shit. That's why I stripped you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you offered me this money, but I don't even want that money. He's so angry and upset. He don't even want he don't even want his cut, the same cut as everybody else. I like, man, cool, whatever, man. Apologize to me first. Give me 300 extra thousand, and then maybe I can rock with you. And that's why it's just like it make Bud Crawford respond like, who the fuck you think I am? You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? You think you Donald Trump? You think you government? It's crazy too, man. I'm gonna go to this, man, because that's all it takes is receipts sometimes for you to just remind people that it don't take a popular person over here for me to speak up and say something. You know, I have been cooking this WBC so goddamn long, man. I have just this is something right here. It didn't go viral, but this is a receipt. Dollar sheet to keep.
That is that.
Let me show y'all what, when I say this was earlier this year, pull this up. 7 months ago, April the 9th of this year. This is just one receipt. This is just this year. But let me just show y'all where my mind frame was at on the WBC just 7 months ago. So basically now, all of a sudden, he has this energy for David Benavidez to fight for the WBC title because a lot of us know that David Benavidez had to wait, I don't know how many years to fight for the WBC, but because of Mauricio's bias to Canelo, see wherever the money is, he want to make sure that he's brown nosing over there. He want to make sure that he's sniffing that ass over there, and in good in cahoots with whoever has the money. At the time, Canelo was the biggest draw in boxing, probably still is, and he wants to make sure he don't mess up that relationship with Canelo. So Canelo had the mandatories was not even a factor for Canelo at 168. Canelo was able to do whatever he wanted to do. He was able to fight Jermell Charlo, give Jermell Charlo a shot before David Benavidez. He was able to give all kind of people shots. Berlanga, all kind of people before Munguia, all kind of people before David Benavidez, and he was the rightful mandatory for a long time. But because you have an issue with the Russians, now all of a sudden it's Mexican power, and now you want to give David Benavidez a shot. Have several seats, nigga. Have several seats. This man is as corrupt as they come out in this motherfucking world, man. Now, I said that shit 7, 8 months ago. You know how David Benavidez, you know, was waiting in line at 168. He wasn't even getting a shot at Canelo Alvarez. But then because Mauricio's stance on Russians and shit, because y'all remember he stripped Dmitry Bivol, you know. But before, he didn't even want to sanction the bout because he sides with the Ukraine over the Russians. So he was making Better BF and Dmitry Bivol suffer as professional athletes who didn't have nothing to do with the war. He was making them suffer because of his stance on the war, siding with Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, you want to have David Benavidez as your rifle champ because of what you don't like, because of what Russia, because of how you feel towards Russia. So now you want to, show David Benavidez some love. That's what I was saying there, man. Sit your motherfucking ass down somewhere, man. You're not consistent. You flip flop. You change rules. You know, it is multiple reasons why the WBC should be the fuck up out of here. It should have been years ago. Somebody should have been spoke up as a professional and flamed the fuck out of the WBC instead of UGC Flame and a few other people over these last 7, 8, 9 years. You see what I'm saying? We've been boycott sporting icons over there in the UK. Like, we've been trying to boycott this WBC shit, but because it's such a great, a huge Hispanic following and a support system, and Mauricio Suleiman is Mexican, a lot of people didn't want to hear that. But when you expose the corruption, the bias, and the discrimination, and how they allow cheaters to get in there and fuck up these athletes' health and shit, once you start exposing all this, you know, you start to see what it really is. So all type of evil shit taking place over there in the WBC. It's not improving, and it's been a problem way before Buck Crawford, spoke up. A lot of people speaking up now because they all of a sudden newfound Terrence Crawford fanboys or whatever. I've been smoking this WBC shit, man. Been on this shit. You know what I'm saying? They should have been exposed on these major platforms long time ago. But it took the underground got to bring this shit. You know what I'm saying? And a few other people. But I'm glad Bud Crawford is the G and finally spoke up on this shit. He has to deal with all of these politics just to achieve this legacy. 3-time undisputed dealing with all of this shit. You know, and all of these other sanctioning bodies, fuck all of them too, because they let Mauricio Suleiman, drive the car. He's captain of the ship. Whenever y'all had these little meetings and shit, Mauricio Suleiman seemed like he got the last say so on the ideas on where the direction of where y'all supposed to go. Y'all need to go to hell. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? All them sanctioning bodies. And this is what I also want to say, because Bud Crawford said this shit yesterday, and I want to point this out. Receipt. That's why I say they need to get rid of the governing bodies. Get rid of them. You see what I'm saying? I was talking to the homies in the Google chat. The Ring magazine and this undisputed belt. That's it. Let's just keep those belts. The rest of these dudes. I like the IBO. I don't too much care about the rest of them, but the WBC gotta go. I've been on this shit, man. I've been saying this shit. They need to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I brought up the Undisputed and the Ring magazine. That's it. You know what I'm saying? The one belt that symbolizes you as number one. Matter of fact, I did an edit on this shit. Let me pull this shit up, man. I don't wait around for the algorithm to catch this shit. I do this shit early. A lot of y'all motherfuckers just do this shit for clout. You feel me? This shit is a hobby for me to do this real shit. This is natural. Watch when I pull this up. What's the best belt in boxing? This was
All
done.
right, what's the
Uh, hold on, let me pull it up on my other device before I play it. Cause we can break it all the way down on what shit matters and what don't. But this he went on Gilly and Wallow's $1 million worth of game podcast. This was Bud Crawford letting schooling them.
belt? Listen, you always listen. Now hold up. I always say the corny belt is one belt. Don't see. My favorite belt is the green joint with the gold shit on there. That's the best one to me.
Why?
I don't know. What's that? Which one is that?
You want me to tell you the best belt?
Which one?
The free one, the ring belt.
Yeah,
No.
magazine.
Oh yeah,
Because that
Devin got
solidify you as the #1 fighter in the division.
Yep.
Devin got that. So
Yeah.
He got all of
So who
that.
got the ring magazine?
Nobody.
all right,
Nobody
listen,
got it.
but listen,
Not in my way.
Oh.
it's some belts.
So you gotta have all the belts to get the ring.
Nah, you just one and two gotta fight.
I did that edit. This was before the Spence fight. This was right before the Errol Spence fight. Bud Crawford was talking like that. Then telling like, nah, it's my hey man, I like the green joint. It's the green ones and shit. You know that was with the nah. Fuck that belt. You want to know what belt? The free one, nigga. The Ring magazine. Bud said that shit then. This was before the Spence fight. That's why Gilly asked him. He was like, so who got the Ring magazine in your weight class? Nobody. So you gotta have all the belts to get it. No, just #1 and #2 gotta fight. So when he whooped Errol Spence's ass, he got that ring. You know what I'm saying? So he been telling people which belt was the best belt. Not the one that's taxing you. The one that you get for fucking free by being #1 in the division. Casuals. And you got this one, this Mauricio Suleiman dude who acting like somebody owe him something. That's one thing that I hate more than anything, or dislike. One of the things I dislike the most is entitled motherfuckers. Like, who do you think you are, bro? What did you do for the sport other than inherit some shit that your dad laid out for you, fam? What are you doing for boxers? To where really motherfuckers owe you 3% of their life every time they get in that ring. Just for you to show up and put a t-shirt on it over their head and put a belt? Man, fuck that belt. I've been waiting for one day for him to try to put a shirt on somebody's head and a boxer to take that shit. Man, get that shit off me. Try to put the cap on the head. Man, get that shit off me, homie. Fuck. I don't want this shit. Give me the rest of that. I only want to see the ring, nigga. The Ring magazine and Undisputed. That's it. You know? One way to the top, homie. The rest of the ones that's #2 and below, y'all squabble it out until you get to the top dog. You know what I mean? Weak shit, man. For years, motherfuckers have sat back and allowed this fat, greasy, pork rib eating ass motherfucker Mauricio to run the show, man. Because he's a fucking knob slobber of Canelo. And with all the knob slobbers all over social media of Canelo, y'all was rocking with this shit. Be real. Most of y'all was rocking with Mauricio because of the Canelo shit. You know? A lot of y'all didn't want to hear this shit over here because y'all was slobbing off this Canelo shit. So anything associated with Canelo, whether it's Mauricio, whether it's Viva Mexico, y'all was with it. You know? And then when somebody started exposing shit, then y'all want to say, oh man, you're racist. Oh man, you're just mad that they can cheat and you can't. Okay. Well, when motherfuckers stop fighting for that belt, we'll see how prestigious this shit is. You know what I'm saying? See what else was said. They gotta go. This man is a fucking joke. You know, the way you discriminate and the way now all of a sudden, um, instead of allowing Dmitry Bivol and David Beterbiev to have their rematch for undisputed, said David, it's Arthur Beterbiev. You want to mess that because you got a problem, a serious problem, man. You know what I'm saying? And this dude was being very logical in this interview right here. Listen to what he said in the beginning. And this fat pork eating motherfucker right here can't even understand logical shit like this. See, that's months ago. The same intensity, the same flame, the same energy. I'll never fuck with Mauricio, man. But look what this guy. I'm about to play this footage.
Isn't it? Aren't you going down the slippery slope of where a person's from determines if they can fight for a title? Like, he's not the one invading the war. He's not putting out war propaganda on his social media. He's just a boxer that happens to be from a country that is at war. Whether you agree with the war or not, you don't know his position on the war.
Look at this. Look at this freaking waste of space. So he's just moving back and forth. As soon as some real shit is being said, he looking to just reject it. Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev ain't shot nobody. They ain't out here causing no crimes. They ain't breaking in nobody's houses. They ain't got they loading up no AKs. They hitting heavy bags and speed bags, man, and fighting for world titles. Y'all see how I was coming at that time period? You feel me? I'm not even rushing, but I'm speaking up for Bivol and Beterbiev because I'm like, why are you making them suffer for some shit they ain't got nothing to do with? You know what I mean? They're not, pushing nobody wig back in a war. They hitting heavy bags and they in the ring sparring. They doing push-ups, sit-ups. They running. They getting prepared to become world champ. Too many people sat back and just allow Mauricio. And shout out to this dude. I don't even know who this dude is, but I caught this, and I'm the type of person, I give credit where it's due. When I see somebody actually stepping up and asking good questions and flaming, I be like, thank you. When I seen that Bud Crawford was cooking WBC yesterday, I'm one of the first people in the comment section. I'm not sure if it was Fight Hype or Fight Hub or whatever that posted the video. I put about time with exclamation and a flame emoji. I'm like, nigga, about time. Shit. Felt like I was the only nigga out here, man, cooking this bitch ass dude with this shit. And that's just a layer. It's so many layers of fuckery with the WBC. It's just like Bud barely scratched the surface of the shit. Cause he could have went way deeper. But yeah, man, I'm like, and even going back to the David Benavidez shit, I wouldn't even be fighting for that shit. The way the shit they put him through. Y'all made this man wait all that damn time. Never got the shot at Canelo. They allow Jaime Munguia, Eddie Berlanga, and Jermell Charlo, all these people to get their shot. WBC was cool with that shit. Didn't say, look, fight David next or we gonna strip you. Nah. Never once. As soon as David Benavidez go up to the next weight class, oh yeah, don't worry, David, we got you. I don't even like these Russian dudes. Matter of fact, I got you. Strip. What was motherfuckers talk? Nobody even want to talk about that shit. Except for this dude and myself, pretty much. But Bud Crawford finally speak up. Now everybody want to act like, oh yeah, man, WBC. Come on, man. Algorithm chasing ass motherfuckers. Like, it ain't got to be popping for me to speak on that shit, man. That's the problem with motherfuckers today. They be looking around for the hot shit. Oh, shit. I don't think that shit gonna go viral. You niggas are sick. That's why y'all always want to go viral so much. I got a virus. It's something wrong with you. Okay? Speak real shit. Shout out to Bud Crawford. He ain't even trying to go viral. He just speaking real shit. Idiot. That's all that's going on with them two individuals. Because you got an issue with Russia, you want to punish the whole people there, nigga. Oh, they can't fight for my belt. No, they Russian. We don't need shit like this in boxing. This is type of shit that is one of the roots or seeds, bad seeds that has fucked up the sport. Yeah, flat out. I mean, so straight up, a lot of people have basically just ignored it. They've ignored the shit. Acted like the WBC wasn't causing problems. You know, it took Bud Crawford to really, really speak up and expose it. And I feel like this is a checkmate. This is a full-on checkmate. Him coming up in weight, dethroning the quote-unquote face of boxing. And it ain't like it's the first time or the second time. It's the third time. The third time of dethroning Canelo Alvarez, for him to really get the spotlight that he need, to where when he say something, people pay attention. When something happens to him, it's going to get more headlines. It's going to get more attention on it. So, Mauricio Suleiman, it's a new day, sir. It's a new day. Everything you do now, it's going to be a lot of headlines and exposure on it. The next time you clear another cheater, it's going to get far more exposure than you ever imagined. It's not going to just slip under to where only the underground community is talking about it. No, a lot of people are going to be talking about this shit. Everything you do now, from here on out, Mauricio Suleiman, whoever you clear, whatever mandatory you don't order, you know, and if somebody else come out and say, they tired of the sanction and fees, yeah, man, it's just going to be more heat. More heat burning towards that organization, man, because you've been doing wrong for a long time. And now the shit has really been exposed, man. All is being revealed on this WBC shit. From athletes, just risking their lives in there with these champs that's roided up. You got guys that has done PEDs, come off a suspension, get a title shot, lose the title shot, get another title shot. This is what the WBC does. This is how they treated Ryan. You know, Conor Ben, you know, first in line to get the winner out of Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. Conor Ben. Only thing he ever did in his career that's even worth talking about, which was to fail a drug test and beat a weight drain Chris Eubanks. And he deserves a shot at a welterweight title. When he just fought his last fight at what? A catch weight of 150 something or whatever it was. Crazy. Man, shout out to everybody that's tuning in, the ones that's catching the playback. Boxer Lounge, Lisa Bells, my dog, 1-2 Kid, Charles, shout out to Charles D up in here, and Lance, man, and Mr. T. He says, for people who move, this greasy mainstream attention is the worst thing possible. Disgusting, man. Nasty. The French fry belt. Yeah, you're right, man. I had forgot about that. 1-2 Kid, the franchise fanny pack. All the damage that the WBC has done throughout these years. People hardly even speak on that shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have accepted it and encouraged the shit. Canelo, Lomachenko, Tiafimo, all these dudes that have took that franchise, yeah, man, lost a lot of respect and moved up on the whole meter. Yeah, 1-2 Kid, they be blaming the food. They get busted with the PEDs and they start blaming eggs and you know red meat. So That much said, man. I'm just glad that Bud Crawford, despite the politics that he's had to endure, was able to still, you know, achieve the things that he was able to achieve. Because it's been a lot of shit, man, that Bud had to deal with. Unnecessary shit. To where all he ever wanted to do was elevate his legacy. And he's had to deal with fuckery in the process. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unnecessary, man. It's sad that he can't just go about his business, fight the best out there, and be respected for that, man, for being the best.
Side of our head, getting battered, knocked upside our head, and every time we step foot in the ring, we gotta pay them a sanction fee like they the government. We getting taxed. It's crazy. Then he said, allegedly, I made X amount of money. You don't know how much I made. You don't know how much I made. Once again, you're speculating. You're speculating. So listen, Mauricio, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Because everybody in the world know you was going for Canelo. You was mad that I beat Canelo. It's okay. It happened.
That nigga so G, he had the mellow R&B type music in the background while flaming this man. That shit is diabolical, fam. Mauricio, I appreciate you, but go fuck yourself. You know, I would put that extra on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, go to hell. You know, um, with all the bullshit and the evil shit that this man has done. Even on that thumbnail that I pulled up from the video that I was playing from earlier, I had put the devil horns on the motherfucker because he's so evil, man. I be thinking like, man, is that Lucifer over there? The fuck? Because it's just nonstop. You know, it's almost like he get a passion or a kick out of doing more wicked shit. You know, and allowing bullshit to take place. I'm like, man, you are out here trying to break your own records of bullshit that you did from the previous year. So yeah, man. Like I say, once again, man, I'm just glad, you know, that Bud Crawford, you know, is standing on business, man, and standing on integrity, dude. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these dudes just go along and get along, and you know, some people in basketball they just shut up and dribble, but he ain't just shutting up and swinging. You know what I mean? He's actually using his platform to speak up on certain things that he feels an issue. You know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate that a lot of these other fighters don't have the cojones to do it, man. You know what I mean? They don't have the cojones to fight the best in their weight class, and they don't have the cojones to use their own platform and speak out. Hey, shout out to Bruce Gas, man. I see you, family. Greed in the flesh, man. Isn't that one of the seven deadly sins? You know, you ain't even got to be religious, but just to be aware of certain things. You look at people what they indulge in and their actions and how they, you know, live their life and how they deal with people and business transactions, you be like, yo, man, maybe you should stop going to the buffet every day because I think this shit is affecting your character, man. You know, you didn't create a whole alter ego out of this alter eating you've been doing, man. You know what I mean? And the mere fact that you start exposing, talking about, man, these dudes be going to these hotels and, um, you know, these restaurants and shit off our dollar, man. Off of what they do in that ring. That's it. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, like the WBC, you know, doing anything other than showing up on fight night with they belt. You know what I'm saying? And saying, and the new WBC champion of the world. Nigga, fuck that. This shit is overrated. Shit's overrated. It's been long overdue, man. It's been way overdue for the WBC to be completely, wiped out of boxing. There's been the biggest ones, man. One of the biggest thorns in the sport, to where that's why you got guys like the UFC invading, the TKO Dana White situation invading the sport. You got Jake Paul and them invading the sport. You know, even Mauricio ranking these people that's not even shouldn't even be ranked. I think he even had to rank Tyson and Roy Jones at some point. It's like, what are you doing, man? It's just stupidity. Pacquiao can go be a senator for 5 years and come back, and he's ranked number one. Like, what is this shit? You know, anything. Bobby Brown can decide to be a boxer, man. And if you tell Mauricio, look, man, I want to be in sport, Mauricio will probably tell him, look, I'll rank you in the top 15. No problem. You know, as long as we can get our fee, 3 4% fee, you know, should never trust a slimy motherfucker like that. Just be willing to allow to do anything for your little just to get a cut off, just to get a cut off you, you know. Just give you a pass on anything. It was only 3% over the normal limit, so we are going to rule that he is innocent. Levada is a full-on studied school laboratory, people that know what the fuck they doing when collecting these damn samples, urine and blood. And you are going to overrule their science off emotion. This motherfucker at once said in an interview he believes what Conor Ben is telling him. I said, you know what, man? Just throw them all away. Get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? And that was multiple years ago when Conor Ben, you know. And that be the thing. It's the WBC has cleared more cheaters than anybody. Yeah, enough is enough, man. Yeah, man. Parasite characters, parasitic promotions, man. Yeah, man. Big shout out to 1-2 Kid. You know, and everybody that caught that playback, man. You know what I mean? Let's just learn from it, man. It shouldn't take somebody who was at the top of their game to say some real shit for you to say some real shit. You know what I mean? Let's speak up, man. Speak up on this shit when it's happening, man. When it's fresh on the horizon. You know, this isn't the first time this has happened. The crooked WBC has 17 world champions and a ton of minor titles. Crooks will survive. You know, so I root against anything that the WBC got cracking right now. These fools need to stop showing up to these conventions, man, because only thing they there to do is eat. They there to eat and self indulge. The WC are the ones who came up with the egg excuse. Yeah, man, egg excuses, red meat in Mexico, um, bad tea in Arizona, all kind of weird shit that the WBC be that anything that these athletes tell them, you know, they go with it because they want to collect their fees. It was all about the money when it came down to it. If Mauricio feel like the money is a good number, he'll let it ride. You know, if Bud would have gave him like 400K, he would have let him ride. But once again, Bud exposed him because he really think he better than everybody else. I hate motherfuckers like that. Motherfuckers just think, oh yeah, I'm here and y'all down there. You know what I mean? So always a motherfucker always trying to flex. You know what I mean? Cause you got all them goddamn weak ass belts, man. Get out of here with them shits, man. Nobody care about them, all them damn belts, man. That's all I got for this, man. I'm the Black Horseman. You know what I mean? I just wanted to pull up some receipts and give some credit to Bud Crawford, man. You know, he's like really the only I mean it's a few real ones, but he's one of them ones, man. He ain't just somebody who came into the sport who kicking ass and then leaving with purses and shit. Like a literal purse around his shoulder on some goofy shit. Like he actually is on some real grown man type shit, man. You know what I mean? On some real G shit, in my opinion, man. Putting belt to ass and checking motherfuckers, man. You know, like this nigga Bud be pulling up, bro. be pulling up like, oh, I need to apologize. Hold up, let me pull up. Let me go live real quick. Boop. You know, didn't wait around for no press conference or none of that shit. I'm gonna get right to it, homie. That's what real motherfuckers do. Nah, we're gonna get right to it. You know what I mean? Weak motherfuckers, what they do, they wait around. You know, that's why I hate this era now too. This is weak motherfuckers. Like it could be a situation or whatever. They go right to they, just argue. You know, drama king motherfuckers. Bunch of drama kings in the society now. But I like the fact that Bud, man, the motherfucker like, nah, homie, we gonna fuck making this drama, homie. We gonna get right to it, homie. We gonna break this shit down, homie. Keep your belt. Keep your belt. I already whooped your favorite dude, so yeah, keep your shit, homie. You feel me? Nigga, Bristol's a faggot, man. That's all that shit is, man. I'm gonna tell you like this: WBC went out sad, man. They going out real sad. Got exposed because their favorite dude got his ass kicked. You know, all the channels associated with that shit, they crying and scraping and scrambling like little bitches, man. This has been a whole bitched out era, man. Of motherfuckers gravitate to the what they feel is the winner side. That's what the type of era these motherfuckers have been on. Oh man, this is the winner side over here. Oh shit, we gotta talk about this. Or we gotta uphold this. Or we can't talk about this. Sucker shit. Yeah, Bruce. Crazy, man. They'll wait till it's safe to talk after someone else puts stem cells in the crosshairs. Yeah, man. I never respect motherfuckers like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? Algorithm ass niggas, man. But yeah, man. Um, shout out. Shout out to Bud Crawford, man. Hopefully you motherfuckers get on some G shit like Bud Crawford is on, man. And speak on that shit, man. Speak on some shit when it need to be spoke on. You know what I'm saying? Get right to it. You know what I mean? Because the WBC, they've been on some sucker shit. They've been discriminating and they've been bitter. That's all it is. All of their best people done got fucked up or exposed this year. There's drug cheats. You know, Canelo got his ass whooped this year. Jaime Mejia popped dirty. You see, they try to clear him. But you can clear them, you can get the belts back. It's not gonna change nothing, Mauricio. Okay? It's a bad fucking year for you, fam. A real bad year for you. You know, even Francisco Rodriguez, your boy, he even got exposed. Now you so mad at Vada for doing that job when your boys can't stay clean. That's it, man. All it takes is just being accountable, man. Your boys that you keep co-signing can't do it the right way, man. You know? And the guy that's on top is a clean athlete, Bud Crawford. Never failed a fucking drug test. Putting belt to ass naturally. And you can't deal with that. Throw your whole organization in the trash. You know what I mean? Do